Welcome to It's a Serenus Life podcast. This is the season of learning lessons. And do we ever stop learning? I don't think we do. Well, here's the story. I called this a Serenus Life podcast because my life isn't anybody else's life, and I'm not like anybody else. And I have no idea if the questions that I have in my mind are the same questions that some people have in their minds, or if my outlooks are the same as somebody else's outlooks. I don't know, because I feel like we've gotten to a point in this world that we just don't talk anymore. We don't look at each other in their faces and having open, honest conversations about the things that anger us and frustrate us, and how do we work through those things when we're so different and so opposite. And maybe that's where the name came from. It's a Serenus Life because I want to get to the bottom of it. I want to talk about it because these are the things that are happening in my life. And I don't think I'm the only one that feels it. What I remember is that we always had to stay up and positive. I swear that I was born into just a very loving, healthy, open family. And no one was to blame for things. We didn't cause rifts or ripples. We got up, we went to school, we came home, we would eat dinner as a family. We would laugh at the dinner table, and we would go to church on Sundays. High school was fun. And anytime something bad happened, there was always a very low-key answer of why it didn't work out. If I didn't get accepted into a school, it was because I was sick that day for the test. If I didn't make it into this, it was because this person had a bad day. It was never like, maybe we should look into really why I wasn't passing the tests, or, why my reactions and my feelings, and why I feel like sometimes my emotions are all over the place. Why do I feel this way? And it's not just one day. I have felt it every single day since the day that I was born, but because of the shell that I was born into, nobody talked, and nobody really got to the bottom of it, of why these feelings not only existed in me, but with everyone else, because communicating about things that really, really matter were never taught. We stayed in those high vibrational emotions. You talked about happiness. You talked about love. You just painted these pictures of beautiful flowers that everyone was supposed to have. And then we get social media. Oh, that one's fun, because then you get to really make your life look really fake. Because I will tell you, my teeth are not that white when you see me online. I drink coffee, and I love my coffee. It turns my teeth on the yellowish, but I'm just saying that's the reality of things, okay? But with everything that's happened, it's like I'm starting to get angry, which is weird for me, because if you ask anybody, I'm one of the most positive, upbeat people that you would ever meet. But I'm getting angry, and I had to sit and find out, why was I getting angry? Well, I had a death. There was a death. Something that happened in my life that was going to rock every single emotion and feeling within my body, bring things to the surface that I never knew were even in my body, discussions that I never even knew that I wanted, looking at things in ways that I never thought I could see them in, hearing things in ways that I could understand where someone was coming from and why this person didn't understand, and maybe understanding that this person's death was not going to be the death of me, but it made me sit in the feelings that I didn't ever want to sit in. I didn't want to acknowledge the pain. I didn't want to acknowledge how it made me feel to watch my friend And the reason I'm recording this right now is because the last couple of days, I feel like every day I've gone through another big thing in my life that like I just shoved it down, that I didn't want to deal with those feelings, because the world doesn't stop moving. I mean, it keeps moving. So if someone dies, or you have strong feelings, or it's a mental health day or whatever, it's like to take time to deal with stuff we don't have the time for, and boy, do we need it. I don't know how to find joy every day. I don't know how to always balance life when it's every single day that I wake up, it's like just an atomic bomb waiting to go off, because the world is moving so fast and I really need it to slow down. I need it to slow down so I can understand why I feel the way that I feel. Why are my emotions so high right now? Why does my heart hurt when I see people in pain? Why is my heart hurting when I know that my best friend is no longer here? It's hurting because those are normal emotions. Those are normal emotions. And ever since that we were born, we needed to be educated and guided and explained about those emotions. We knew that we felt comfort from our mothers because we could feel the closeness. We could hear the loving words that they would say to us, and the closeness and the smell that they would give us. That showed us our first happiness and love. And we knew when our stomachs would grumble, and when we knew that we were tired and we didn't want to be in light anymore, we knew that our bodies were telling us that we were not happy. There was something that we needed, and our mothers. But we also longed to feel secure and safe. We longed to hear that we were a good girl or a good boy. We longed to be in mischief because we were so curious. We didn't do things meaning to hurt anybody. We just wanted to see how they worked. And if we were yelled at, if we were spanked, if we were given these intense emotions without any explanation of why they occurred, why they happened, and we weren't allowed to ask why we're getting in trouble or how could I have done it better, the world wasn't slowing down enough to work through those as we were growing up. And so every hard experience that we had just accumulated and would get put into that imaginary backpack that we carry the minute we are born. Now imagine growing up and you didn't have that mother nurturing. What if you just had the father? What if the father didn't know how to give the nurturing, which we know that a child needs throughout their life? They need all those emotions. It helps grow them. It helps develop them. So we as humans, as we get older, can learn how to regulate our high vibrational, which is love and laughter and joy and happiness, but also to be able to know how to handle and acknowledge our sadness and our anger and our low vibration. And it was like growing up, you never wanted to be in the low vibration. You never wanted to talk about the low vibration. And if you had inquisitive children or high emotional children that maybe were born empaths, I mean, who knows, people? But if you never had anybody to guide you through this, it didn't matter how happy you were going to be in your life. At some point in your life, something was going to cause a massive awakening or catastrophe for you, or something that is going to wake you up and realize that the world is not all sugar plum and fairies. The world is dark, and the world is mean, and the world is sad. And the world, I believe, even when a lot of us didn't talk about those, the anger, the sadness. Those of us that have seen joy and felt happiness and do feel love, we don't want to lose that. And I will tell you that if we continue to live the way that we are living as of October 1st, 2025, because we have so much sadness and anger for things that we can't explain, the world, we're feeling negative energies, we're seeing angry people, and why? Why are we feeling those? Why are they so magnetic? Why can we just suffocate ourselves, drown ourselves in misery? Why does it feel so good to be so low? If you grew up in a low vibration and you never saw happiness and love, if you grew up in a sugar-coated household that you thought had happiness and love, and come to find out there was a lot of things that were happening underneath the surface that really weren't love and happiness. They were anger and sadness, but we never talked about. So we just carry this backpack that has all this stuff, and we live and we get up and then we snap at something, or we hit somebody with a car, or we flip somebody off. We are walking time bombs. And it's not, it goes beyond Republican and Democrat. It goes way beyond whether you believe in God or you are atheist. It goes way beyond that. And it's because we don't know who we are, why we are here, who we are, what's our purpose. Even if I'm born in a hard and unstable, emotionally unstable household, I just wasn't satisfied with knowing that that was my life and that this is all my life can be at 45. I didn't go through all those trials and tribulations the way that I did when I was younger to be here, right smack dab in the middle of my life, questioning, who am I? What am I here for? Why does my heart hurt? Why am I sad? I'm sad because I'm afraid. I'm afraid of making the wrong choice. I'm afraid of making a wrong choice that has an outcome that hurts other people. And because I like to be more positive with people, I would rather not do something to make someone else feel better. And that's not fair. I know how to love everyone else, but I don't know how to love myself. I know I have gifts, but I had more people around me tearing me down, and I listened to the ones that were tearing me down instead of the ones that saw my potential and were lifting me up, because I knew how to always be in high vibration, but I was drowning from not understanding my low vibration and why they existed and why they are just as important than my high vibration. Living is really tough right now. And I don't mean that in like life, death, okay? I just mean everything seems like it's getting more expensive, and everyone just seems like everyone's angry, and like I said, driving like maniacs, and everyone's just ready to go off on the next person. And I just feel we're in over our heads, and I pray. And even from the last episode that I did, and I said a spiritual awakening, you guys, what a spiritual awakening is literally going through all of the stuff that weighs you down from everything around you. There is a man that was sent to us to live like us and to die for our sins, to carry our heavy burdens, to carry our load, to carry that backpack, that no one told us what to do with and how to work through it. There is someone that wants that backpack and that will take that backpack. And he will be there for us during all the low vibrational emotions that no one knew what to do with. He's here. And he wants us to call on him, because that person who does want to walk beside us and help us to live better than what we're living now, because we were born into a fallen world that your first breath was anger, was sadness, was the pain, was the suffering. He died to take all of that so we could live this life and live with joy and love and compassion. All I know is that I love humans. I love people. And I have had this love for as long as I can remember. But I also had pain that I was never educated in, and it followed me, and it got a lot heavier than I wanted it to. And when my best friend died from brain cancer, that stopped my whole world per se, and really had me realize that I don't live in this magical bubble, that whether it was my family that raised me, and that I know that in any lifetime before us, we just never talked about pain and suffering and anger and sadness. We just didn't talk about it enough. And when people did talk about it, you changed the channel. Now I think that's all people want to listen to. That's all that's on the radio. It's all that's on the news, is anything that causes us pain and suffering and anger. And I can't do it anymore. I can't. I'm seeing my digestive issues, my headaches, my eyesight, things that I swear my body was saying, Sarah, if you don't release this backpack that you have, it's going to be the death of you. And if I did not work through my crap, I think life would have taken me way sooner than I'm ready to leave. So I'm going to continue talking about this type of stuff and maybe what I'm feeling at the moment, because I believe that if we can work through and understand that it's okay to be angry, and it's okay to be sad, and it's okay to be hurting. We just can't stay there forever. And we do need to know how to validate those feelings, because those feelings are there for a reason. There's a reason that you are so angry the way that you are. Let's keep pulling back those onion layers and let's get to the bottom of it, of why you are so angry. Because at the end of the day, when I'm with people and I see their anger, and they'll blame it on, oh, it's this and it's this. And then the layer comes down and the layer comes down. And the person that they don't know if they love, and they don't know why they feel the way that they feel, is because they don't love themselves. They might not even know who they are. Anyways, these are deep thoughts. I do not know how long this went. I tried to record it a couple of times, and God just said, Sarah, it doesn't have to be perfect, but let's start talking about it. I'm okay. And yes, I'm still going through a spiritual awakening. I'm pretty sure this is what we call what is it called? Like a soul thing, like death of the soul or soul to death or something. I don't know. But I have to go through it. And I have to sit through the physical abuse, and I have to sit through the mental abuse, and I have to sit through the emotional abuse, and I have to sit through all of the things that not make me be the best person that I can be. I want to know why I feel the way that I feel, and I want to talk about it. And I want to relate to people on a personal level, and I want them to know that I love them and that I see them, and that at the end of the day, we do have a choice. And I know people are like, Sarah, that seems so easy. Well, let me tell you, the more I let go of the things that I was trying to control and I gave them to the Holy Spirit up above, because I can't just be here to feel the pain. I need to be here to feel the joy. And the only way that I was able to feel the joy was to let go of all the things that I couldn't control. And so that choice that I think we all have is whether, do we deserve this? None of us deserve pain and misery, even the worst of the worst people, because there was a reason they got there. And if you tear down all those onion layers and you peel them back, even the worst of the worst needed love and they didn't feel love. And unconditional love, man, unconditional love, isn't that the word of how to feel in your life? If you were to go back and just say, what did your life feel like? I think I'd want mine to say, Sarah was very, very unconditionally loved. And she also unconditionally loved everyone in return. So until the next episode, it's a Sarah-ness Life signing off. Until then.